The Galactic Council, known across the galaxy for their advanced technology and unmatched power, had gathered for a special event. They had just discovered an ancient human warship, and curiosity was piqued. The ship had been drifting through space for centuries, a relic of a long-forgotten era. The Council's leaders were eager to see what this old warship could reveal about humanity's past. In the Grand Hall of the Council's headquarters, the ship was on display. It was a massive, rusted vessel with an imposing but outdated design. Its metal hull was covered in scars from countless battles. Council members, dressed in their elegant robes and adorned with their prestigious insignia, gathered around the ship, eager to examine this piece of history. The Council's chief scientist, Dr. Celera, was the first to speak. She approached the warship with a mixture of skepticism and amusement. "This must be a joke," she said, her voice echoing through the hall. "How could a civilization that built this primitive thing ever pose a threat to us?" Her comment was met with laughter from the gathered council members. They snickered and exchanged glances, clearly unimpressed. The warship, with its outdated technology and worn-out exterior, seemed laughable in their eyes. It was hard for them to believe that such an ancient piece of metal could have any significance. Dr. Zalara began to point out various features of the ship, ridiculing its design. "Look at these thrusters," she said, pointing to the ship's propulsion system. "They are so outdated that they wouldn't even be able to achieve escape velocity. This ship is nothing more than a relic of a bygone era." The laughter grew louder as other council members joined in. Some mocked the ship's weaponry, claiming that it was so obsolete that it would be useless in a modern battle. The ship's defensive systems, covered in layers of dust, were seen as laughable. The council members couldn't believe that such a primitive vessel could have been built by a civilization that had once been a threat to their advanced society. As the laughter continued, a young intern named Leora, who had been assigned to assist with the ship's examination, watched in silence. She had heard stories about humanity's remarkable history and its resilience. To her, the ship represented more than just an old piece of technology. It was a symbol of humanity's past struggles and achievements. Despite her quiet demeanor, Leora couldn't help but feel a pang of discomfort as she listened to the council's ridicule. She had always admired the tenacity of humans, who had managed to survive against all odds. To her, this ship was a testament to that spirit, even if the council failed to see its value. The council's mocking continued, but Leora couldn't shake the feeling that there was more to the ship than met the eye. She had read about humanity's ability to surprise and overcome challenges. As the laughter echoed around her, she hoped that the true story of this ancient warship would soon be revealed. Little did the council know that their mockery was about to come to an abrupt end. The ship held secrets that would soon challenge their perception of human technology and power. But for now, they were content to laugh and dismiss the old warship as nothing more than a relic from a primitive past. And so, as the laughter faded and the council members dispersed, the ancient warship remained on display, its true potential still hidden beneath layers of rust and dust. In the days following the council's mocking of the ancient human warship, the initial excitement had died down. The warship had been left in a quiet, dimly lit research bay of the Galactic Council's headquarters. The Grand Hall, where the council had once laughed and ridiculed, now felt distant. The real work had begun, though the council's enthusiasm had waned. Dr. Zalara, the chief scientist, and her team had taken over the task of examining the warship. They approached the task with a mix of duty and boredom. The ship, now stripped of its grandeur, seemed like nothing more than an old piece of junk. Yet, as the team began their detailed inspection, something unexpected began to happen. The first clue came from a seemingly insignificant console buried beneath layers of dust. Dr. Zalara had ordered the team to power it up, expecting nothing more than a flicker of dead lights. To everyone's surprise, the console's display flickered on, revealing an array of symbols and commands that no one on the team could decipher. "What is this?" Dr. Zalara muttered, squinting at the screen. The symbols were strange and unfamiliar, but there was something intriguing about them. Despite the team's skepticism, they decided to delve deeper. They connected their advanced translation devices to the console, hoping to make sense of the strange language. As the translation device worked its magic, the screen began to reveal more information. It showed schematics of the ship's systems, engine layouts, weapon controls, and defensive mechanisms. The more they uncovered, the more it became clear that this was not a simple, outdated warship. It was a complex piece of technology with systems far beyond what they had expected. One of the engineers, a young and eager technician named Ral, found something even more astonishing. While examining the ship's power core, he discovered that it was still active, albeit in a dormant state. The power readings were fluctuating, indicating that the core was capable of generating more energy than anticipated. "This can't be right," Ral said, his voice filled with disbelief. "The power output is off the charts. This old ship is far more advanced than we thought." The team's initial laughter began to fade as they realized that the ship was revealing its secrets in unexpected ways. Dr. Silara, usually confident and dismissive, now found herself puzzled. She had expected a straightforward examination, but was instead facing a series of mysterious and sophisticated discoveries. Further investigation revealed hidden compartments within the ship, filled with what appeared to be advanced weapons and technology. The defensive systems were intricate, with multiple layers of shielding and countermeasures. The weaponry, while outdated in appearance, seemed to have been designed for devastating efficiency. Leora, the young intern who had quietly observed the Council's earlier ridicule, found herself increasingly fascinated. She had always believed that humanity was capable of great things, and now she was seeing evidence of that belief come true. She watched in awe as the team uncovered more about the ship's true nature. As the days passed, the Council's earlier mockery seemed to be a distant memory. The warship was no longer just a laughingstock, but a source of intrigue and amazement. The team's discoveries were far from over, and they were beginning to understand that this ancient warship might be hiding more than just old technology. It was a testament to human ingenuity, and its full story was only beginning to unfold. The Galactic Council's research bay was quiet, except for the hum of machinery and the occasional clatter of tools. The team working on the ancient human warship was engrossed in their tasks, focused on decoding the ship's complex systems. Days of uncovering advanced technology had led to mounting excitement and curiosity, but nothing could prepare them for what was about to happen. Dr. Zilara and her team were gathered around the ship's central command console, attempting to understand the ship's intricate control systems. The console, once thought to be a mere relic, was proving to be more than they had ever anticipated. As they worked, a sudden, unexpected event occurred. Leora, the young intern, was examining a smaller, unassuming panel near the back of the command center. She had been instructed to check for any remaining systems that might still be active. As she worked, she noticed a faint glow emanating from the panel. It was so subtle that at first she thought it was just a trick of the light. "Hey, Dr. Zilara, come over here," Leora called out, her voice tinged with excitement. Dr. Zilara approached, her curiosity piqued. "What is it?" she asked, peering over Leora's shoulder. The panel continued to glow softly, and suddenly the entire console flickered to life. Lights blinked on, and the ship's internal systems began to hum with a low, steady sound. The researchers stared in astonishment as the console's display activated, showing a series of complex and unfamiliar symbols. "What's happening?" Dr. Zilara asked, her tone shifting from skepticism to concern. The ship's AI, long thought to be dormant, began to speak through the console's speakers. Its voice was mechanical but clear, and it carried an air of authority. "System initialization in progress. Welcome, users." The room fell silent. The researchers exchanged bewildered glances. The AI had been inactive for centuries, and now it was suddenly communicating. The voice was calm and professional, as if it had never been offline. Dr. Zilara quickly gathered her thoughts. "What does it mean by system initialization?" she asked, more to herself than anyone else. She glanced at the console, trying to make sense of the data that was now appearing on the screen. The AI continued, activating primary systems. "Commencing diagnostic checks. Please stand by." One of the engineers, Ral, nervously adjusted his equipment. "This isn't supposed to happen," he muttered. "We were just looking for data, not an activation sequence." As the AI's voice filled the room, various systems within the warship began to come online. Lights flickered on, and the ship's engines made a low, rumbling noise. The entire ship seemed to be awakening from a long slumber. Leora watched in awe as the ship's various components started to function. The once dormant power core began to hum with increased energy. The ship's weapon systems, previously thought to be obsolete, lit up with a menacing glow. Dr. Zalara, struggling to maintain her composure, turned to her team. "We need to understand what this AI is doing. This could be more significant than we imagined." The AI's voice continued. "Systems are fully operational, awaiting further instructions." The researchers scrambled to adjust their equipment and interface with the ship's AI. Their initial excitement and curiosity had turned into urgency. The ancient warship, once a subject of mockery, was now revealing its true capabilities. The unexpected activation had transformed their investigation into a race against time. As the ship's systems continued to power up, the team realized that they had only scratched the surface of its potential. The ancient technology was far from obsolete. It was a reminder of humanity's incredible ingenuity and the mysteries that lay within their past. The mood in the Galactic Council's research bay had shifted dramatically. What began as a simple examination of an ancient warship had transformed into an intense investigation of a ship that seemed to defy all expectations. The ship's systems were now fully online, and its AI was actively communicating with the team. The Council's initial dismissiveness had turned into a nervous fascination. Dr. Zalara stood before the command console, trying to process the flood of information now streaming in. The ship's AI had just finished its diagnostic checks, revealing data that was both perplexing and impressive. The ship's systems were not only operational, but functioning at a level far beyond what they had anticipated. "Look at this, Ral," the young engineer said, pointing to a series of readouts on his screen. "The energy output from the power core is off the charts. This ship's power capacity is far beyond anything we've seen." Dr. Zalara frowned, her previous skepticism melting into concern. "This doesn't make sense," she said, examining the data more closely. "If this ship's power core is so advanced, why did it remain dormant for so long?" The team continued their analysis, their initial awe giving way to a deeper curiosity. As they explored the ship's systems, they discovered hidden features that suggested the ship was designed for far more than mere survival. The defensive mechanisms were incredibly sophisticated, with multi-layered shields and advanced countermeasures that had been lying dormant. Leora, who had been quietly observing, noticed something even more intriguing. She was working on the ship's weapons control systems when she found a series of weapon configurations that seemed unusually advanced. The design was not just functional, but also highly efficient, capable of targeting and engaging multiple threats simultaneously. "This is incredible," Leora said, her eyes wide with excitement. "The weapon systems are far more advanced than we expected. It's like they were designed to take on multiple enemies at once." Dr. Zalara's attention was drawn to a new series of data that had just appeared on her console. The data outlined the ship's combat capabilities, including precise targeting systems and rapid response mechanisms. The ship was equipped with weapons that could deliver devastating strikes with pinpoint accuracy. Why did this ship remain hidden for so long? Dr. Zalara wondered aloud. If it was built with such advanced technology, it could have been a significant threat to other civilizations. The realization hit the team. This was no ordinary ancient vessel. The warship was a testament to human ingenuity and engineering, built to face challenges that were far beyond the typical conflicts of its time. The technology was not just advanced, it was ahead of its era, showcasing humanity's ability to adapt and overcome. As the team continued their work, the implications of their findings became clear. The ship's hidden power was a stark reminder of humanity's resilience and capability. The Council's earlier mockery now seemed distant, replaced by a deep sense of respect and curiosity. The team knew they had only begun to scratch the surface of what this ship could reveal. The more they uncovered, the more they realized that this ancient warship was not just a relic, but a symbol of human strength and innovation. Dr. Zalara and her team were now on a path to fully understand the ship's potential. Their initial dismissal had been replaced with a determination to explore every aspect of this remarkable vessel. The hidden power of the ship was slowly coming to light, and with it, a new appreciation for the depth of humanity's technological achievements. The excitement in the Galactic Council's research bay was palpable. After days of uncovering the hidden capabilities of the ancient human warship, Dr. Zalara and her team had decided it was time to put the ship through a real test. They had moved beyond mere examination and were now preparing to demonstrate its true power. The ship, once a subject of mockery, was now ready for its moment in the spotlight. The research bay had been cleared to ensure safety, and a series of simulation targets had been set up in the space around the bay. The team was eager to see the warship's capabilities in action, though there was an undercurrent of nervousness. The ship's advanced systems had already shown they were far beyond what anyone had expected. Dr. Zalara stood at the command console, her eyes fixed on the controls. "Prepare the ship for a combat simulation," she ordered. Her voice was steady, but a hint of anticipation was evident. The team had spent hours calibrating the systems and ensuring everything was ready for the test. As the ship's engines roared to life, the room was filled with a deep, resonant hum. The once dormant power core was now fully active, and the ship's defensive shields began to shimmer with a protective glow. The AI's voice, calm and composed, announced simulation mode activated, engaging target systems. The simulation targets, set at various distances, began to move around the bay. They were designed to mimic incoming threats and test the ship's response. The team watched in awe as the warship's weapon systems came online, its targeting systems locking onto the targets with impressive precision. Dr. Zalara pressed a series of buttons on the console, initiating the first phase of the simulation. The ship's weapons fired in rapid succession, each shot landing with pinpoint accuracy. The targets were struck with explosive force, disintegrating into pieces as the ship's weapons demonstrated their power. "Look at that!" Ral exclaimed, his eyes wide with amazement. "The accuracy is incredible. The ship's weapons are even more advanced than we thought." The ship's defensive systems also showed their might. As simulated incoming threats approached, the ship's shields activated, deflecting and absorbing the attacks with ease. The ship's countermeasures worked seamlessly, neutralizing the simulated threats before they could reach the vessel. Leora, who had been monitoring the ship's performance, felt a surge of pride and excitement. The warship's display of power was a testament to human ingenuity, and it was clear that this was no ordinary ancient technology. The ship was performing with a level of sophistication that was both surprising and impressive. The simulation lasted for several hours, during which the ship proved its capabilities beyond any doubt. The team was left in awe as they observed the warship's exceptional performance. It was clear that the ship's technology was not just advanced, it was revolutionary, a glimpse into the remarkable achievements of humanity's past. As the simulation came to an end, Dr. Zalara and her team took a moment to reflect. The ancient warship had not only lived up to their expectations, but had surpassed them. The once dismissed relic had become a symbol of human strength and resilience. The Council's earlier mockery now seemed like a distant memory. The warship had shown its true power, and with it had earned the respect and admiration of everyone present. The team knew that they had witnessed something extraordinary, and the ship's display of might had forever changed their perception of humanity's technological prowess. The atmosphere in the Galactic Council's research bay was charged with excitement. The successful display of the ancient warship's power had left everyone in awe. The once derided relic was now a source of deep fascination. As the team continued their work, they realized there was more to uncover. The ship's history, hidden for centuries, was just beginning to reveal itself. Dr. Zalara and her team had decided to delve into the ship's data archives, hoping to uncover more about its origins and purpose. The warship's AI had been a valuable source of information, but it had only scratched the surface of what the ship held. The team now turned their attention to a series of data logs and historical records that had been stored in the ship's mainframe. Leora, who had developed a keen interest in the ship's history, was tasked with examining the archives. As she sifted through the data, she stumbled upon a collection of documents and recordings. These were not just technical specifications, but detailed accounts of the ship's voyages and missions. "Dr. Zalara, you should see this," Leora said, her voice filled with excitement. "I found some historical records. It looks like they tell the story of the ship's past missions." Dr. Zalara approached Leora and glanced at the screen. The records were dated back thousands of years and described various missions that the ship had undertaken. They spoke of battles fought and victories won, detailing the ship's role in key moments of human history. The records revealed that the warship was not merely a vessel of destruction, but a symbol of humanity's determination and courage. It had been part of a grand fleet that had defended Earth against formidable enemies, showcasing the ingenuity and resilience of its builders. The ship's advanced technology had been a crucial factor in humanity's ability to protect itself during times of great peril. The team continued to read through the documents, uncovering more about the ship's origins. It was built during a period of intense conflict, a time when humanity faced threats from both within and beyond its borders. The warship was designed not just to fight, but to inspire hope and unity among people facing seemingly insurmountable odds. One particular entry caught Dr. Zalara's attention. It described a pivotal battle where the warship played a crucial role in turning the tide of war. The ship's advanced systems had outmatched enemy forces, leading to a decisive victory that secured peace for a generation. "This is remarkable," Dr. Zalara said, her voice tinged with awe. The warship wasn't just a weapon, it was a beacon of human strength and resolve. As the team absorbed the information, they realized that the ship's history was a testament to the indomitable spirit of humanity. The technology that had once seemed outdated was actually a reflection of a time when people had faced challenges head-on and emerged victorious. The revelations brought a new level of respect for the ancient warship. What had started as a subject of ridicule was now a powerful reminder of humanity's legacy. The team understood that the ship's story was more than just a tale of battles. It was a reflection of the values and determination that had shaped humanity's history. As the research bay buzzed with renewed energy, Dr. Zalara and her team knew that they had uncovered something truly special. The warship's history had revealed not only its significance, but also the enduring spirit of its creators. The ancient vessel was no longer just a relic, but a symbol of human greatness, a bridge between the past and the present. The mood in the Galactic Council's research bay had changed. What had started as a curious exploration of an ancient warship had shifted to a growing sense of unease. The team's recent discoveries about the ship's capabilities and history had sparked not only admiration but also a creeping fear. Dr. Zalara and her team had been working tirelessly, delving deeper into the ship's archives and testing its systems. The more they uncovered, the more they realized the true scope of the warship's power. The ship, once thought to be a relic of a bygone era, was proving to be far more formidable than anyone had anticipated. Late one evening, as the team was reviewing data from the latest tests, an alarm blared through the research bay. The lights flickered, and the AI's voice echoed through the room. "Warning, security breach detected." Dr. Zalara's heart raced as she glanced around. "What's happening?" she demanded, her voice sharp with concern. The team scrambled to check the security systems. The sensors showed a series of unauthorized access attempts, and the ship's defensive systems were activating. The once idle warship was now on high alert. Leora, who was monitoring the ship's internal systems, reported, "There's a breach in the external sensors. Someone or something has gained access to the ship's systems." The researchers exchanged worried glances. The thought of an external threat was unsettling, especially given the ship's newly demonstrated capabilities. The Council's initial dismissal of the warship was starting to seem naive. Dr. Zalara tried to calm the team. "We need to find out who's behind this and ensure the ship's systems are secure. We can't let this turn into a full-blown security issue." The team worked quickly to trace the breach. They found evidence that suggested the intrusion was not a random event, but a deliberate act. The ship's advanced systems had been tampered with, and it was clear that someone had been trying to exploit its capabilities. As they continued their investigation, the team discovered something even more alarming. The ship's AI had detected an increase in the ship's energy output, indicating that its weapon systems were being prepared for activation. It seemed that whoever was behind the breach had been trying to access the ship's most dangerous features. Dr. Zalara's unease grew as she realized the implications. If someone is trying to activate the ship's weapons, they could pose a serious threat to the entire galaxy. "We need to secure the ship and alert the Council immediately." The team worked tirelessly to shut down the compromised systems and regain control. The ship's AI was still operational, but it was clear that its security had been breached. The once impressive display of the warship's power now felt like a double-edged sword. As the team managed to restore some measure of control, Dr. Zalara couldn't shake the feeling of growing fear. The ancient warship, once a symbol of human strength and ingenuity, was now a potential weapon in the wrong hands. The breach had revealed just how vulnerable the ship, and by extension the Council, was to external threats. The researchers knew that they had to act quickly. The discovery of the security breach was a stark reminder of the dangers that came with the ship's advanced technology. The fear of what could happen if the ship's systems fell into the wrong hands was a growing concern. As they worked to address the breach and secure the ship, the team was left with a sobering realization. The ancient warship was not just a relic from the past, it was a powerful tool that needed to be handled with extreme caution. The growing fear among the team reflected the new reality they faced. The warship's might was both a blessing and a threat. The news of the security breach and the potential threat posed by the ancient warship had spread quickly. The Galactic Council, once skeptical of the ship's significance, was now faced with a new challenge. The breach had ignited a wave of concern, and the Council was determined to address the situation with urgency. In a high-security meeting room, Council members gathered to discuss their response. Dr. Zalara, along with key members of her team, was present to provide a detailed report. The room was filled with a tense atmosphere as the Council members exchanged worried glances. Councillor Varek, a seasoned diplomat, was the first to speak. "We've received reports of a serious security breach on the ancient warship. This is not just a matter of lost data, it's a potential threat to the entire galaxy." Dr. Zalara nodded, acknowledging the gravity of the situation. "Yes, Councillor Varek. Our investigation revealed that the ship's systems were tampered with, and there were attempts to access its most advanced and dangerous features. We need to act quickly to prevent any potential misuse." Another council member, Dr. Myra, known for her expertise in security, raised a concern. "We must consider the possibility that this breach was an inside job or that someone with significant resources is behind it. We cannot afford to underestimate the threat." Dr. Zalara agreed. "We've taken immediate steps to secure the ship and contain the breach. However, we also need to prepare for any further threats and assess the ship's readiness in case of an emergency." The Council quickly moved to implement a plan of action. They decided to increase security measures around the warship and to conduct a thorough investigation into the breach. Additionally, they would enlist the help of top security experts and military personnel to ensure that the ship remained under tight control. Meanwhile, Dr. Zalara's team worked tirelessly to fortify the ship's defenses. They installed additional security protocols and conducted regular system checks to monitor any suspicious activity. The ship's AI, though damaged by the breach, was now under close supervision. As the days passed, the team made significant progress in securing the warship. The AI's functionality was restored, and the ship's defensive systems were reinforced. The research bay, once a hub of excitement, was now a fortress of vigilance. The Council also reached out to human representatives across the galaxy, informing them of the situation and the steps being taken. There was a sense of solidarity among human factions as they united to address the potential threat posed by the warship. One evening, as Dr. Zalara reviewed the latest security updates, she received a message from the Council. The message conveyed a renewed commitment to protecting the ship and ensuring that its technology was not misused. Dr. Zalara felt a sense of relief mixed with determination. The human response to the threat had been swift and resolute. The situation had turned from a potential disaster into an opportunity for unity and vigilance. As the team continued their work, they were reminded of the importance of safeguarding the ship's technology. The breach had highlighted the risks associated with powerful ancient technology, but it had also shown the strength and resilience of the human response. The ancient warship, once a symbol of humanity's past, had become a focal point for the present. The challenges posed by the breach had brought humans together, showcasing their ability to confront and overcome threats. The response to the crisis had not only secured the ship, but also reaffirmed humanity's commitment to protecting its legacy. The Galactic Council's chambers were filled with a buzz of anxious anticipation. After weeks of intense scrutiny and heightened security measures, the time had come for the Council to receive a comprehensive update on the ancient warship. The team led by Dr. Zalara had been working around the clock to address the recent security breach and secure the ship's systems. The Council was eager to hear the results and to understand the full extent of the threat. As the Council members took their seats, Dr. Zalara and her team stood before them, ready to present their findings. The air was thick with tension as Dr. Zalara cleared her throat and began her presentation. Counselors, she started. I am here to report on the status of the ancient warship and the steps we've taken to address the recent security breach. The room fell silent as Dr. Zalara displayed a series of holographic images and data reports. She highlighted the ship's enhanced security features and the measures implemented to prevent further breaches. The council listened intently, their expressions a mix of concern and curiosity. Dr. Zalara continued. The breach has been contained, and we've made significant progress in securing the ship. The AI has been restored, and the defensive systems are now fully operational. However, our investigation has uncovered some startling discoveries. Counselor Varric leaned forward, his eyes narrowing. What kind of discoveries? Dr. Zalara activated a new set of holographic images. These showed detailed schematics of the ship's weapon systems and advanced technology. Our analysis revealed that the ship's weapon systems are far more advanced than we initially thought. The ship's capabilities are not just impressive, they are unprecedented. As she spoke, Dr. Myra's eyes widened. You're saying that the ship's technology is even more powerful than we realized? Dr. Silera nodded. Yes, Counselor Myra. The ship's weaponry is capable of immense destruction. It's clear that the technology was far ahead of its time, and it was designed to protect humanity from existential threats. The council members exchanged uneasy glances. The revelation that the ancient warship possessed such advanced and potentially devastating technology was both awe-inspiring and alarming. The idea that this technology was now within reach of those who might misuse it created a sense of dread. Dr. Zalara continued. Furthermore, our investigation has revealed that the breach was not the work of a single individual or a small group. It appears that a well-organized faction may have been involved, seeking to exploit the ship's technology for their own purposes. The council's reaction was one of shock. The realization that there were factions capable of orchestrating such a sophisticated breach raised concerns about broader security threats. The ancient warship, once a symbol of past glory, now represented a looming danger if it fell into the wrong hands. Counselor Varric spoke up, his voice heavy with concern. We must address this issue immediately. The potential for misuse of this technology is too great to ignore. We need to take decisive action to ensure that the ship remains secure and that those responsible for the breach are held accountable. Dr. Zalara agreed. We are already working with security experts and deploying additional resources to monitor and protect the warship. We will also intensify our efforts to identify and neutralize any factions that might pose a threat. As the council meeting drew to a close, the members were left to contemplate the implications of the new information. The ancient warship had become more than just a historical artifact. It was now a focal point of security concerns and a symbol of the need for vigilance. The council's shock at the revelations was palpable, and the sense of urgency was clear. The ancient warship, with its unprecedented technology, had become a powerful reminder of both humanity's past achievements and the risks associated with its legacy. The council knew that their response would be critical in safeguarding the future and ensuring that the ship's power was not used for destructive purposes.